Hello everyone, I'm Jesus and welcome to the next episode of The Road to Old School MTG. In this episode, I have game 1 of 4 games, 4 rounds, of the January 2024 Old School Atlantic Tournament at Days Time Warp in Cedar Grove, New Jersey. This is an Gentleman's Atlantic rules, so no Library of Alexandria and no Mind Twist. So this game 1 is quite a game, so a little heads up. Before we get into it though, let me go into my deck pick. So this is the deck I've been playing for quite a while now. I think by February, I'll do one more and then I'll try different options. At least that's what I'm currently thinking. So this is just a Bantamgeddon or Bantamgeddon deck with blue. It has quick creatures, lions, pixies, but more mid-range and later beefier creatures. Dibs, Urnums, 2 Suchis now, 2 Saros. So other than the Black Lotus and Time Twister, it's fully powered. So the main deck is, I believe, the same from the previous month and from the one before that. There's only been minor changes. So I would say the main deck is pretty well established. I might make 1 or 2 changes, but nothing drastic. The sideboard for this tournament is drastic because I wanted to try different things. So I have 4 deserts, 4 Acacian Javelineers, and 2 Tranquilities. So I've been told that Desert and Javelineers are a good sideboard card against Lion the Bolt, just Green Weenie, things like that, which makes sense, of course. I've been debating those cards myself, especially Desert. But I wasn't sure which one of those 2 options is better, or if maybe a combination of the 2 is the best option to go with, depending on what deck I'm going against. So I just wanted to try both, and that's why I have a full playset of both on the sideboard. Tranquilities is a card I've been debating also. I've been seeing more enchantment-related things recently, and I just thought that would be a good card to try to test out. The Karmas are there from before, and the Energy Fluxes are there from before against artifact-heavy decks. But other than that, this is pretty standard stuff. So let's go into game 1. This is so round 1, game 1. So my opponent had mulliganed twice, so 2 cards back. Unfortunately, my life total is not very visible, so I'll try to keep track on the side here. So he goes dual land, Lion. I go Factory, Soul Ring. The camera angle cuts a little bit off both of our sides, so hopefully that doesn't. So if anything, the lands are going to get cut off a little bit. All right, so he attacked, didn't do anything else, looks like. So I play a second turn dip, so this is pretty solid. My opponent goes attacking, so he's signaling that he has a bolt to go hand in hand with the block. So I took 2, so that dropped me to 16, and I took 1 more, that dropped me to 15. I took 1 during my upkeep. So he cast a line beforehand. All right, so I tap my Soul Ring. I'm not sure why. I play Savannah and okay, so I attacked, he blocked. Okay, so I'm not sure what I did there. I think maybe I forgot to untap. By the way, I don't think I had anything else. So I just dropped the Pixies. I believe it's my opponent's turn now. So I'm at 15. He's at 17 because of my attack with the dip. So yeah, he's going all in. So I could animate block. We'll see. Okay, swords, 1 of them. So it'll be at 19. The other one's coming in. I trade with my pixie because I want to, just eliminate the threat, and then my dip can just come in without thinking about anything else. So that was after blocks, and he, but before damage, he lightning bolted it. So I take no damage because it blocked. I took a damage though during upkeep. I'm at 14. I attack for 3. He's at 16. I could have attacked with the factory. And he was tapped out. I'm pretty sure I forgot. Because, I mean, why am I keeping stuff untapped for, right? That much mana. I don't have like a 4 mana casting cost instant. So that was a mistake, definitely. So I took a damage from upkeep. I'm at 13. I attack. He's at 13. So we're even. He had cast a Sovereign from before. Drops a City of Brass. Takes a damage. Taps his City of Brass. He ancestrals himself. So he needed that blue. So this is, remember, he had mulligan twice. So this is, he's basically coming back to the way he should have been from the very beginning. Mox Jet. Tapping 2 mana. ATOG. So that's tricky. I'm at 12 during my upkeep. So we're both at 12. So now I'm debating if I attack or not, because the attack, he has 2 artifacts. So if I block with my factory, it'll die. That's okay. Now I attack, but not the other turn. Okay. So I must have something. So I have a wide open. So probably a swords. I think I was trying to get him to block and then sacrifice his enchantments, his artifacts, and then I would swords. So I wanted him to bait him to sacrifice, because he would. Let's see. Well, my guys. So he just needs to sacrifice 1, yeah, to turn his attack into a 3/4. That would kill my factor, but he does need to sacrifice at least 1, or he blocks with the lion. This I did not expect. He double blocked. And then here I remember we were having a conversation about, once I am, because I was waiting if there was any other reactions, right? Because this seemed unusual to me. But he said no. And I was saying, okay, so I'm going into damage, into dealing damage. Can you react to this? And he reminded me that no. It basically damage is dealt, then damage is resolved. That cannot be altered. No, I mean in terms of the ATOG. If I understood his ruling correct. So I think that's what we're discussing right now. Sorry for this shaky camera. We were talking about that. At least it's not as bad as it seemed. All right, so we just trade, because honestly that ATOG was scaring me. So, but he took 3 from my dip, so I'm So I Armageddon. The reason why I wanted him to sacrifice an artifact is because both his artifacts are mana producers, and I wanted him to sacrifice one of them, so that way he would have less mana after I Armageddon. But he did not do that. Maybe he saw that coming on my side. Who knows? So unfortunately, he drops a land and he attacks. So I'm at 10. He time walks. I have my factory open, but I cannot tap and make himself a creature and block. I took 2 more. I'm at 8. I'm tapped out. He is casting a Wheel of Fortune. So I have 3 cards. He has 3 cards, but he has, yeah. So he didn't drop a land. So let's see what happens. So I'm at 8. If I'm not mistaken, he's at 9. We both drew 7. Okay, let's see what happens. Okay, he plays a City of Brass, takes a damage. Sylvan Library. I take a damage. Should be a 7. He's at 8. All right, so I could attack with the. So he's tapped out. I can get in 5 damage, but I'd be tapped out and have no way to react to him. So, and now he has more mana, so he could definitely Side Blast and Bolt. So that's what I was thinking. So I don't remember if I ended up attacking. I should attack with at least 1. Oof. So I play a Mox, I believe, and then I Ancestral myself. Another Mox. I'm surprised I haven't dropped a land. So I guess maybe I didn't draw any? That'd be unlikely. Okay, Tropical Island. Activating. Ooh, I'm going for it. 5 damage. At 3. For my side, since he's playing Burn, I'm afraid that, I just gotta get him down so that way I can next turn come in with a dib, because that's a flyer. Okay, so this was, I remember this play. I was agonizing for this play because, of course, if I'm not mistaken, I'm at 7 life now. I dropped to 5 next turn, but I figured I was gonna lose 2 life anyway if I didn't cast the dib, because he was gonna attack with the lion and I had no defenses. So I'm like, all right, so I rather take 2 for my own dib and then have both of them to attack next turn. So he's using the library ability. So looked at the top 3, put 2 back. So he just drew his regular card, but he selected from the top 3 cards. He plays a Tundra. Coming in for the attack. I'm blocking because I don't want to take any damage, because I'm going to take 2 next turn, no matter what. Well, unless he kills my div for some reason. So here, yeah, like, I was surprised with that move, because then if he had like some kind of a direct damage, he would probably deal it to me, right? Because just killing 1 dip is not enough. He needs to kill both of them. Okay, he's doing a Side Blast on me. So I'm at 3, I believe. So he's tapping 2. So he took 2, he was at 1. So check this out. He took 2 from his own blast. So he was at 3, he's at 1. He tapped his City of Brass. It deals 1 damage. But he can use the mana before he gets dealt the damage. And then he can cast a spell, as long as it's an instant. So he Side Blasted me, and we both died at the same time. before he died to the city of Brass. So this game 1 is a draw. So we were pretty happy that it was caught on camera. All right, so of course it's a tricky situation because then I remember that we weren't sure about, okay, what's the protocol? Who goes first next game? But we asked, and then the consensus is that basically it's almost like game 1 didn't happen, and then whoever went first last game decides to go first again, right? So basically we kind of like ignore game 1. Once we enter the results, we do have to, of course, put in the accurate results. But at least in terms of the, how do we count this game for our purposes, that's how we think about it in terms of what happened. All right, so very surprising game 1. Now let's go into game 2. So in this one, I mulliganed once. I believe I was the only one who mulliganed. My opponent goes first again because he went first game 1. All right, so factory, Mox, line. So pretty strong turn 1. My turn 1 now. I drew. Savannah, Mox, and that's all I do. All right. So ideally, I would want a line or a Pixies. I would maybe even a Chaos, or if I had it, just do something with my mana. But yeah, now he comes in for 4. But maybe I kept it open because of the disenchant. But I believe, yeah, I think I had other lands, but I decided to play the Savannah in case, just to make him afraid that I was gonna disenchant. But I didn't have a disenchant, so he didn't bite. So I took 4 damage right there. I'm at 16. He didn't play another land, so both games he's been mana screwed. So my turn 2, I dropped the factory. So I can, and then that's all I do, right? So this game 2, I am very slow, and I cannot block unless I intend to trade with either his line or his factory. But yeah, and then he knows this. So I just took 2 from the line. I'm at 14 at the moment. So I dropped the Tropical Island, I believe, or some kind of land, but yeah. I have my 4 mana, and that's an earn for my side. So at least finally I'm getting something. He disenchants my jet. End of turn. If he had disenchanted it during his turn, I wouldn't have been able to cast my Urnam Third Mind. But I guess he wants to prevent me from doing it a second time. So this one I was surprised. Like, he attacked, I blocked, and I'm like, wait, you got white. What are you gonna do? I didn't see it coming. I should have. Balance. So he got my Urnam. I had less cards, but he discarded a card he wasn't going to cast anyway, right? So he got way better end of the stick there. So he has a Mox and a factory. I just got a factory. In hindsight, I don't know if I should have kept that. I drew and then I did nothing, I believe. Because, oh no, or maybe he had that card and then he dropped it. Yeah, I believe that's. So I play a Mox, Tundra. All right, so I had stuff. So I guess that's why I let go of the other 2 lands, because I knew I still have colored mana in my hands. But not doing anything.
Bought 6 off of TCG Player for $5 a piece. Yeah. Beat, but nice. Best case, you could 3 cards. Stand a factory. Attack for 2.
All right. Activating and attacking, so I'm debating if I activate because then he could just lightning bolt it before blocks. So then I lose my factory. Ooh, I'm going for it.
4 blocks.
Yep, and there it is. And then I take 2. I'm at 12.
Second main.
Place a
And
Black Lotus.
I'll pass.
All right, my turn on tap. I believe I did that because, well, you're going to see. So there was a method to my madness, why I took that risk with the factory. Or at least I think there's a method to my madness. All right, okay. So I'll say it now, I guess. I had a balance in hand. I was debating using it. That's why I didn't care if my factory died, because then I would have been a one land, and then he would have had to sacrifice. But then I guess I changed my mind. So then in hindsight, maybe I should not have even try to block with the factory. We'll see. All right, so he plays a land, I believe. Volcanic Island has a Chaos Orb. So he's tapped. Well, I guess he can still use his factory to activate the orb, but instead he's popping the Lotus.
Use a colorless, leaving 1 blue floating. Twister.
He uses 1 colorless and 2 blue to do a time twister. So he still has a blue open, if I'm not mistaken. So, all right, we just put our hands into our decks, shuffle up, draw 7 cards. So he still has a blue open. I believe he dropped a land this turn, but maybe I'm wrong. We'll see if he drops a land or not. All right, so we're cutting decks. We're both going to draw 7 cards.
Lazy girl.
So with that final blue, he could still activate the Chaos Orb. Okay, so I guess he didn't drop a land. And then we were just talking about this. I was saying that,
What were you saying?
like, I saw, like I've seen games on video where someone would time twister, and then they would, using a Black Lotus, and then they would draw the Lotus again. And literally after I said that, he dropped the Lotus.
Daisy girl, come here.
So, all right, so he got a lot of good stuff. He got a factory, a Mox, and he's got his Black Lotus again. The same one that he used to cast the Time Twister.
Yeah.
So he still hasn't used his mana.
Sack for white.
And he's popping it again. So he popped the same Black Lotus twice. That's freaking ridiculous. Okay, so he's doing it for white this time. So it has 2 white and a blue. So a lot of math here, a lot of mana. I believe he has 2 white and a blue left.
Sonic blast you?
Yep. And then he's using all of it to side blast me. That would take me to 8, I believe. And then I hadn't done any damage to him, so that's the first damage he took. So look at his side of the game and look at my side. All right, so now he's using. So he used up all the mana from the factories. I mean, from the Black Lotus. He's activating the orb, so I'm deciding to react. Yep, I disenchant before activation. And then he was tapped out. The lion was cast that same turn, so he can't attack. I go to my turn. So I did draw 7 cards, of course, and then I'll draw an 8th for my draw. I think I dropped the land on the side. And then a lot of shaking going on.
I bought a new thing. Yeah, that's just
Image stabilization.
So yeah, I'm really thinking a lot because I'm at a low life. I'm at 8, if I'm not mistaken. He can attack for 6. Okay, I dropped the Mox Sapphire and then Ancestral Recall. I think I did the exact same thing game 1 as well. So I guess I can't complain that he got his same Black Lotus twice. I'm also doing ridiculous things as well. Okay, so yeah, I'm doing that just to see what I draw, because maybe depending on that, I decide, what land I should drop. Because yeah, I was thinking about dropping a land and then using that land to get a blue, but I'm like, let me just, let me do this first. Right here, I'm dropping a land. So I guess I hadn't dropped one from before. Right, land 3. 4 mana, 4, and earn them. So he can still do 4. So he dropped the Tundra. He's activating both. Yep, he's coming in for everything. He's attacking for 6. Of course, I'm going to block one of the factories. I take 4. I'm at 4, if I'm not mistaken. That glare is really unfortunate on the life total. All right. He chain lightnings for 3. I'm at 1. Because I'm still alive. So, okay, so his line has Forest Walk. So I have to kill it. Or if I drew a swords, I could kill my own Ernem, but that's probably worse. Well, maybe. You don't want to be at 1 life with somebody who plays direct damage. Okay, yeah. Swords, he's back to 20. 2 mana. Regrowth. My own swords. So I was thinking about, of course, regrowing my Ancestral. But I was telling my opponent that I'm the kind of guy, like, I prefer to have the exact thing that I want as opposed to gambling on an Ancestral, and maybe I get what I want, maybe not. But most people, I will say, they would go for the Ancestral. So maybe, if anything, I think I'm more than likely the one who's making a mistake by doing that. All right, so I dropped another factory, which is why I attacked with the Urnam, so he took 4. But then he dropped a strip mine. So I was a little confident, thinking, okay, so I have 2 factories, so he cannot. So even if he kills 1, I still got the other one. I can still block no matter what. But he got a strip mine, so he's attacking. This puts me in a conundrum. If I activate, because I only have 3 mana open. If I activate 1, he can use the strip mine to kill the activated one before blocks. And then I guess I could then tap the other one, tap the one that's dying to activate the other one. But one of them has summoning sickness. So, yeah. So I'm like, because I really wanted that swords for my own Urnam. But I had to use it on, so no matter how I did the math, I was gonna die because of that strip mine. So I swords the factory, he gained 2 life, but at least now there's no creatures that I can give Force Walk to. So I can go in for 8. Yeah, that's what I'm doing. Like, I'm at 1. Okay, so I got him for 6 only. So 2 more turns and I can get him if I get lucky. But like I said, I'm at 1 life. Anything can kill me. If he has a Javelineer, that could kill me. Okay, so I dropped a land, Energy Flux. So That's just to take away mana, because he only has 2 lands, so maybe so he cannot cast a Sonic Blast, but it doesn't matter because he just chain lightning me anyway. All right, so intense game 2. So this was basically kind of like game 1, right? Because game 1 was a draw, nobody won. So this is game 2, but he has 1 win. So now we have to go into game 3, so that way we can continue on, right? And honestly, we were talking that we could even technically be playing 4 games because it depends. So first game was a draw, nobody won. He won this one. If I win the next one, we're 1-1, and then we still have to play that 4th game to balance things out. But we will see if we need that 4th game or not. So now this is going into game 3. So no mulligan on my side. I drop a factory, so I lost. So I go first. Well, I decide, right? And oof, I think he's getting that max every single game. I think maybe. Or at least it seemed like it. He took a damage. He cast a line. He cast an ATAC. Oof, that is turn 1 for him. And all I did was just drop out factory. So he played 5 cards in 1 turn. All right, so my Javelineer. So this is now, I'm going to analyze this particular play, see if I should have done something different. Okay, has another Cedar Grove, so that's the only good thing. He's dealing damage to himself, but he does have 2 Moxes as well, so I don't think that's gonna affect him much. And decks like his, they don't care too much about damage to himself because he's just trying to kill the opponent. All right, so here, of course, my Javelin has Summoning Sickness, so I'm like debating. Okay, I can take the damage, but then I can, but I can't, use the token. So I'm like, next turn, okay, I kill his line with the Javelineer token, but the attack is still there anyway, so I can't use my 1/1 to block his 1/2. I do have the factory, right? But that's not part of the equation. So that's what I decided to do. But I don't know if that's in the end that's what should have happened anyway. Okay, so I took 1 from the attack before, and then he side blasted me, so that's 5 I taken, I believe. He took 2, and then he took 2 from his own City of Brasses. So I'm like not doing anything. Tundra, I pass. I'm at 14, I believe. He attacks, but he also does nothing. But of course, that's because he did so much already. And I'm afraid to use the factory. Okay, disenchant so that he doesn't use red. So that way he has to use his City of Brasses. So he side blasts me again. I believe I'm at 10. So he took 3, 2 from the blast, 1 from the city damage. All right, so his turn. I'm at 10, he's at 13. And then I'm tapped out, he can just attack. 9, I believe. All right, but he's kind of letting me off the hook. And I remember this game, I was like really screwed with mana. So he takes 2 to counterspell. But that's an easy trade. So he attacks again because I keep on tapping out. I'm at 8, he time walks. So now it's going to his time walk turn. So I'm at 8, he's at 10. I think that's all been self-inflicted. May I attack once with a dip? I don't know. Okay, I'm at 7, I took another. So I'm always afraid that he's going to use his Mox to pump it up. So he drops a Volcanic, he disenchants my Sovereign. That's a good play because I only have 2 lands. The Sovereign was the only reason why I could cast the dip last turn anyway. Oh yeah, the dip he counterspelled. So I'm at 7. Only good thing is that he has an A-type, but if he does direct damage, he can finish me off with the A-type by sacrificing the Mox. So I am very much in danger. And then I'm like taking the damage because I don't want to block with my factory, because then I don't just lose the factory, but I'm like, I can cast even less and less things. He dropped the Volcanic Island. He passes. I go. I'm at 6. Man, this is quite a few turns, and I've only finally now dropped land 3. So 3 mana. Yeah, like I don't want to do this because I don't want something that's going to damage me. But I'm going to get attacked by that A-tag anyway, so might as well take 1 for myself. Plus, I'm more than happy to trade. But I doubt he would do that at this point, my opponent. I'm at 6. He's going to go straight for the dome. It's just a matter of he just has to draw 1 direct damage. And my own dip might do me in for the rest, honestly. 3 mana. That's a Side Blast. What is it? Yep, man, he's cast, what, 3? Yeah, he cast 3 Side Blasts. So I'm at 2. And I'm gonna get 1 damage from my dip. He takes 2 to balance. So that's okay. So I guess, oh, he has no cards in hand, so I got to discard my whole hand. I had quite a few things, of course, because I'm not. Everything was green, and I just played a Savannah last turn. So yeah, of course, yeah, I'm at 1. He took out all my options. I don't know if I had a swords or something, but either way, now I'm gonna die next turn. If I didn't draw a swords to kill my own dip, he's at 6 though. So I attack for 5, but he can block his own. Or he can just gamble and not block. But I think he would probably block anyway, just to be on the safe side, plus because he knows I'm going to die for my own dip anyway. So here I'm just calculating what I can do. But I cannot do anything. I drew a Mox. And I'm just going to die anyway. So, epic games. And of course, catching that game 1, that draw, a lot of things have to fall into place for something like that to happen, right? It's very rare. I believe I had 1 draw before as well, but that was on an online tournament. But pretty cool that we captured this one on camera. So thank you to everyone for watching. Thanks to my opponent. Very epic games that we caught here. Thank you for watching. Hello everyone, I'm back. I wanted to add an addendum to this video. I forgot to mention it previously, but I feel it's very important. So I had recently made a video about Tattoo 40 and just have discussed Tattoo 40 in the past, and how you get cards for inclusion for a Tattoo 40 deck. And also, just for those who are unfamiliar with this old school tradition, I thought this is a perfect time to highlight this part of the old school community. So what you're seeing here is an image of the price cards that are, some cards were for some of the top players that were given by the store, and then the other cards are cards donated by each individual player that attended. So the way this tournament went, everyone had to give a $10 entrance fee, plus you had to donate 1 old school legal card for the prize pool. So in the very top row, those are the 5 cards that are given from the store for the top 5 players. The cards in the stands are top 3. So that was in Alpha Script Sprite, Alpha Swamp, and a Antiquities Mishra's Factory. Then for the next top 2, a Sylvan Library and City of Brass, I believe, from Chronicles. But every other card underneath is one of the cards that each player donated. And when we have free time, we all initialed or wrote our name, wrote a little symbol. Everybody does something a little different. And we did that for all the cards. And then the store also has their stamp that they stamped each one of those cards that were donated. So then this is how a card gets tattooed, because everyone, at least in this case, initialed on it, and then so the card looks like it's been tatted up because it's written all over. So just to be clear, there to the right side, a bit higher, there are two items. There's a clay statue that's been altered. That was the last place prize. So the player who got last place, that was their particular prize that they got. Top 5 players got to select from the top row only. But if everybody won, there's a possibility the top players can still get one of the cards donated from the prize pool. It all depends how we decided to do things. And then someone donated that Mock Sapphire counter thingy. So that was also made available for whoever wanted to take that, right? So players it's definitely okay to donate more than one thing. But at least one was required for participation for this tournament. So can you guys guess which one of these cards I donated? So maybe you can put it in the comments. But yeah, I just like everyone who attended, I put in one card. I scribbled my initials on all the cards that were donated. And so the process will be, so the top 5 players get to pick from the top row. First place gets to first pick and so on. Then starting from 6th place, that's when players start picking from the selection of the tattooed cards until we get to last place. And then I guess I'll mention it now. In previous tournaments we've done where we went back to first place and then we got to start picking, first place got to pick again. But this time what we did was we went reverse. Last place picked, and then last place picked again, and then second from last picked again. So we went opposite this time, just to switch things up and to try something different, right? But that's what happened. Okay, so this is what you see in a lot of old school tournaments. Not all tournaments will have this. Some tournaments you just come in and that's it. Some may have an entrance fee, some may not. But this is, I've attended a number of tournaments by now, and this is something that I would say basically all of them had. And from my understanding, this is kind of an old school Magic thing, so it's pretty cool. And what I was also able to capture for this tournament is I also captured, I took pictures of each card being selected one by one. So it's kind of like time lapse. So this is a 4-video series of 4 games, 4 matches. When we get to the last one, we'll revisit this picture again. And then you will see the time lapse of each card being selected. First place gets first pick, second place gets second pick, and so on. So that way you also see the process of people selecting their prizes. So I thought that was a pretty cool thing to add. I may do this more often in future tournaments. It depends on if it takes a lot of extra work to do this from my side, and but if I see it's positively received, I'm very tempted to continue doing this. But this is the first time I'm focusing on this aspect of the game, which I think it's unique and very important parts, right? So it really builds on the community. We just don't just come play and then leave. Right? We literally hang out. We might help each other during the game. It's very, we're competitive, but it's still friendly, very much friendly atmosphere. We get a nice card to commemorate the event, and with the creation of Tattoo 40 from the brilliant minds at the Old Order community, now these cards don't just have to sit being unused, but they can be included now in a Tattoo 40 deck. And just to be clear, you can use these cards in any deck. So just because something has been written on doesn't exclude it from it being used in your regular deck. So across any of my videos or other videos that you might see from other content creators, you might see a tattooed card pop up here and there, right? So these cards are still legal, still able to be used in any old school tournament. But a lot of times players may not choose to use them, and then they end up just collecting dust and not being used. But with Tattoo 40, they get a second chance at life. So that's pretty cool. All right, so I will be referring to this picture again throughout the games, and especially on game 4 when everyone starts selecting. But hopefully this is something that's of interest to you as well. Thank you once again for watching.